Vladimir Putin visits the disputed Kuril Islands. The Kremlin has broadcast this journey globally, ensuring the world sees Moscow projecting its power to the very edges of its borders. Despite his long tenure in power, this marks his first trip to the remote archipelago. For years, the Russian government has heavily militarized this region, but a presidential footprint changes the calculus entirely. The Russian leader specifically toured Turop Island, the largest of the disputed landmasses, walking its grounds as a deliberate show of unwavering authority. The backlash from the neighboring power was swift, severe, and immediate. Japan immediately condemned the Russian leader's trip. Officials in Tokyo viewed this not merely as an affront, but as a direct challenge to their national sovereignty and historical heritage. To understand the gravity of this moment, we must look at the map. These islands are claimed by both Russia and Japan, sitting strategically at the icy intersection of the Sea of Okhotsk and the Pacific Ocean. The very name of the land depends on which side of the sea you stand. Tokyo refers to the region as the Northern Territories, teaching their children that this is a deeply ingrained, unjustly stolen part of their national identity. But across the water, the narrative is starkly different. Moscow officially calls the area the Southern Kurils, administering them as an integral, non-negotiable territory of the Russian Federation. The political fallout in Tokyo today has been explosive. Japanese Prime Minister Takaichi reacted with anger, addressing the nation and the international community with a visibly stern demeanor. In a rapidly organized press conference, the Japanese PM called Putin's visit unacceptable, stating that it deeply wounds the feelings of the former Japanese residents who were exiled and the descendants who still dream of returning. Diplomatic channels were instantly activated. Wasting absolutely no time, Japan summoned the Russian ambassador over the visit, demanding an immediate explanation for what they view as a severe and calculated provocation. At the Foreign Ministry headquarters, Russian envoy Nikolai Nozdrev faced official protests in a closed-door session. Leading that diplomatic charge was the top brass of the Japanese government. Foreign Minister Motegi issued a very strong protest directly to the ambassador, emphasizing that this stunt undermines decades of delicate negotiations. But to truly grasp why a single visit has triggered such an earthquake, we have to turn back the pages of history. The island chain has been held since World War II. As Imperial Japan was collapsing in the final days of the global conflict, Soviet forces seized the disputed islands back in 1945. They expelled thousands of Japanese citizens and established a military presence that has only grown over the decades. It is this specific, unresolved trauma that haunts the region today. This ongoing dispute prevents a formal peace treaty. Staggeringly, officially, Russia and Japan have never legally ended their World War II hostilities. Despite the international uproar, the optics on the ground in Turop were heavily stage-managed for domestic consumption. During his trip, Putin toured a hospital and a school, shaking hands and projecting an image of everyday civic development. Highlighting the economic importance of the region, Putin also inspected a local fish processing facility, a subtle reminder of the lucrative economic grip Moscow holds over these rich fishing waters. Further cementing this administrative reality, the president held talks with the Sakhalin governor, discussing future infrastructure investments and military modernization. The shockwaves are now reaching Washington. The United States backs Japan's sovereignty claims, releasing a statement late today standing by their key Indo-Pacific ally. Unsurprisingly, the Kremlin remains entirely unmoved by Western pressure. Moscow completely rejects Tokyo's historical claims, viewing them as revisionist. Russia insists the Japanese protests are unfounded, asserting the president's right to visit any part of his country and to leave absolutely no room for doubt. Before flying back to Moscow, Putin firmly declared the islands as Russian territory, ensuring the icy waters between these two nations will remain frozen for the foreseeable future.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to Mirror Now.